All right, let's pull back the curtain on the invisible force that powers literally everything in our world, electric current. Now, you probably think you have a decent idea of how it works, but what's really happening inside those wires? Well, it's stranger and honestly way more amazing than you probably think. Let's dive in.
Okay, think about something you do every single day. You walk into a dark room, you flick a switch, and boom, instant light. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in that split second? How does a light bulb, which might be miles and miles away from the power plant, know to turn on the exact moment you flip that little switch?
And that right there is the big question. So we're going to go on a little journey to find that secret power. And it all starts by zooming in, way in, on just a normal piece of copper wire.
Okay, to get this, we've got to shrink down, like way down, to the microscopic level. You see, inside every single copper wire, there's a team of unbelievably tiny particles, and they are the heroes of our story today. Let's see what they're up to before we even think about touching that light switch.
These little guys are called electrons. And here's the cool part. In stuff like copper, what we call conductors, these electrons aren't locked into place. They can kind of just wander around. And that little bit of freedom, well, that's the key to everything that's about to happen.
So get this. This is the first kind of shocking truth here. Even when the switch is off, the electrons inside those wires are buzzing around like crazy, bouncing off each other at incredible speeds. So you've got a ton of movement, but it's all just random chaos. There's no organized flow in one direction. And with no organized flow, you get no current.
So the big question is, how do we get this chaotic crowd of electrons to march in the same direction? Well, they need a coach, they need a game plan, and that's where something like a battery, or any power source, comes into the picture. It gives them that big push.
And that push, that's what we call voltage. Just think of it like pressure in a water pipe, or like tilting a ramp so a ball starts to roll. Now, the sciencey term for this electrical slope is potential difference, but all you really need to know is that it gives the electrons a clear downhill path to follow.
So how does a little battery do that? How does it create this big push? Well, it's all about chemistry. It basically shoves a bunch of electrons onto one side, that's the negative terminal, and creates a big empty space for them on the other side, the positive terminal. And what happens? You guessed it. The crowded electrons can't wait to escape that negative side and rush over to the positive side.
Okay, this brings us right back to that first mystery. How does the light turn on instantly? Well, the secret is that the wire isn't empty. It's already jam-packed with electrons. It's just like a tube that's completely full of marbles. The second you push one marble in one end, another one pops out the other end instantly. See, the individual electrons themselves, they actually drift pretty slowly. But that push, that signal, shoots through the wire at almost the speed of light.
All right, so now we've got our electrons all lined up and marching in order. It's time to give this thing a name and figure out how we actually measure it.
And here it is. This organized movement, this net flow of charge, is what we call electric current. It's the huge difference between that random, chaotic crowd we saw earlier and a perfectly disciplined parade. This organized drift is what does all the heavy lifting in our circuits.
Okay, so how do we measure this electron parade? We use something called an ampere, or amp for short. It's basically like counting how many electrons march past a specific spot in the wire every single second.
So just how many electrons are we talking about here? Get ready for this. 1 single amp is 6,242 quadrillion electrons, flowing past a single point every single second. I mean, that's a 6 with 18 zeros after it. The scale of what's happening inside that tiny wire is it's mind-boggling, really.
Okay, time for a funny little bit of history. You see, way back in the day, before anyone knew what an electron was, scientists like Benjamin Franklin had to guess how electricity worked. They guessed it was a flow of positive charges. So just because of that old tradition, we still draw our diagrams with the current flowing from positive to negative. But in reality, we know the actual electrons are going the other way. It's a little weird, but just remember, they're opposites, and you'll be fine.
All right, so we've got our current. We have this massive flow of electrons all ready to do some work. So what's next? Let's actually follow them as they do something useful, like, lighting up a light bulb.
First things first, the current needs a road to travel on. Materials like copper, what we call conductors, they're like super highways for electrons because they've got tons of those free-roaming electrons we talked about. Then you have insulators, like the plastic stuff around the wire. Think of those as brick walls. Their electrons are locked down tight, so they block the flow, which is great because that's what keeps us from getting shocked.
So a light bulb, or really your phone, your TV, anything you plug in, that's what we call a load in the circuit. It's kind of like an obstacle course for the electrons. As they have to squeeze and push their way through that tiny little filament inside the bulb, they give up some of their energy. And the bulb, it brilliantly turns that energy into light and heat.
And that right there, that simple idea, is what powers our entire modern world. Every single time you fire up a video game, charge your phone, cool your food in the fridge, or even drive an electric car, you are literally commanding quintillions of these tiny electrons to march through a circuit and do work for you.
But, what happens if you get a traffic jam on that electron highway? If you try to shove too much current through a wire that's too small, you get a kind of electrical friction. The wire starts to get hot. Really hot. Hot enough to melt the plastic insulation around it, and that's a major fire hazard.
And that is exactly why we have safety marshals for our circuits. A fuse is basically a tiny piece of wire that's designed to be the weakest link. If things get too hot, it just melts and breaks the circuit. A circuit breaker is a bit fancier. It's an automatic switch that flips off when the current gets too high. And the cool thing is you can just flip it back on. These things are the guardians of our electrical systems.
Wow, what a journey, right? We went from a bunch of randomly wandering electrons to an organized march that literally lights up our entire world. Let's do a quick recap of the 5 most important things you need to remember.
All right, let's tie this all together. First up, current is nothing more than that organized flow of tiny electrons. Number 2, voltage is the push that gets them going in the first place. 3, they need a path. Conductors are the highways, and insulators are the walls that keep them on track. 4, we measure this incredible flow in amps. And remember, 1 amp is a mind-blowingly huge number of electrons. And finally, number 5, fuses and circuit breakers are our safety guards, making sure that powerful flow doesn't get out of control.
And there you have it, this secret life of electric current. It's not just some magical force, it's this incredibly vast, super organized dance of trillions upon trillions of tiny particles. So, the next time you flip on a light, just take a second to remember the quintillions of electrons you just put to work. Pretty cool, right? The only question is, now that you know the secret, what amazing thing will you power next?